Look, I got some infrastructure. New infrastructure. Have I told you the one about? Welcome back to my show. Look, it's my imaginary friend who's come to visit me again. Who is my imaginary friend today? You want to count with me? 1, 2, 3, poof! Oh, it's my imaginary friend Shauna. Hi, Shauna.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I just got back literally from a run. I was in such a rush to get here, so I just threw on some my running look. But I'm in my running sweats. I don't smell good, so it's lucky that you're a virtual friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to send me? Look, I have the magic story portal is open. It's empty. There's nothing in there. Do you want to send me your story?
Okay. Abracadabra.
Wow! That came with an electric shock. What's your story? It's the agoraphobic ghost. OMG. That sounds great. I love a ghost story.
This is a pretty good ghost story.
Yeah, what happened?
Okay. So this is a story. It's actually not my story. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to my cousin, and I checked with her, and she said it's okay for me to tell this story.
Okay, good. We like permission.
Yeah, I thought that would be good. Okay, so it happened in the early 90s. My cousin her name is Renee. She lived in Calgary, and she was buying a house. And we were pretty young, maybe we were 18 or 19 at the time. And so her parents were helping her, in doing all the stuff that she needed to do. And they found this house in Calgary on Child Avenue. And I can say the address because the house is now gone because this was so long ago.
Okay.
And it was this really small house, kind of like wartime size, like that we have here. Maybe all told with the little basement that it had, maybe it was 800 square feet. So really small. And on this kind of big property in the corner on Child Avenue. And they got a really good deal on it for whatever reason. I don't think that they knew. The person who had lived there was this old lady, and she lived there her whole life.
The old lady on Child Avenue.
The old lady on Child Avenue.
It's ripe for a ghost story.
Turns out, and I don't know if my cousin if they knew this when they bought the house. Turns out the woman died in the house. So when they first got possession and they went in.
Possession?
Sorry, say that again?
Possession?
Yeah, exactly.
When they first got possession.
They went in the house and it was all dark. Everything was, I think they had to clean out all the furniture and stuff. I don't know what happened with the family. I might have known at the time, but this was so many years ago, I forgot. And all the windows were covered with these really thick wool blankets. So there was no light coming in ever to the house.
Weird.
And it was all so you'd walk into the house and it was all really tiny rooms. How houses were made. It was probably built in I don't know, the 40s or something like that. So everything was really sort of compartmentalized. So they'd walk into all these rooms and all the windows were covered with these thick wool blankets. And everything was really dark and everything. And in the living room, which was at the front corner of the house, there was a big stain on the carpet.
A stain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When we removed it, it turned out that it was blood. So, and they never knew what happened to the old lady, how she died in the house or what happened.
Oh, gross. That's so creepy.
Yeah, it's a bit creepy, but and like I say, she might have known more at the time and I just forget. But anyways, they ended up doing a pretty big reno, leaving all the rooms as is. Maybe it was 2 bedrooms, which were really tiny bedrooms, and a kitchen and living room. And then that was it. And then the bathroom was downstairs. So, and the downstairs, it was low ceilings, and there was a skinny hallway and then a small bathroom with just like a bathtub, sink, and toilet, like really small. And then you could walk to the end of that hall, and then there was like a cold storage room, like for, you know, food and stuff, as people used to do in the prairies. So, you know, they did the reno and everything. Nothing weird happened or anything. And then, however long after my cousin moved into the house, and she had a small dog. And she moved in, a roommate moved in with her, a friend of hers moved in with her. And she had a small dog, and the dog's name is Nikki. And Nikki...
What kind of dog?
She was like one of those like really yappy dogs.
Okay, like a little white something.
Yeah, like white fluffy, like a Maltese or something like that.
Just to have an idea, you know, Chihuahua. We need to paint the scene.
Yeah, so, and she was really cute, but, you know, she was really yappy and whatever. And she would stand at the top of the stairs and just bark down the stairs all the time. And she would never go down the stairs.
From the second level to the first, or from the first level to the basement?
From the first level to the basement. She would never go into the basement.
Oh, the basement.
But you'd have to go, like, the door to outside, and then the stairs were kind of, like, right next to each other. Okay. So she was by there a lot when they go out the back door, like, to go outside for a walk or whatever.
Right.
So she would bark all the time. But my cousin had to go downstairs, you know, because that's where the only bathroom was. So she, you know, was using that a lot. And one time, one story that I remember, she was down in the bathroom, and, you know, it was like early in the morning, and her roommate was still in bed, like when she went down, like I think Renee was getting ready for work or something like that. And then somebody walked past her going into the cold room. Like she could see the mirror, and then the door was like right behind. So she was like brushing her teeth or putting makeup on or whatever. And she could see somebody walk by.
Oh, I got like, goosebumps.
And they didn't have anything in that room. Like it was just storage. Like they didn't use it for cold storage for food or anything.
Right.
And so she called out her roommate's name and heard nothing. And was just like, oh, that's really weird. Like, there's nothing, you know. So she finished what she was doing in the bathroom and then went and looked and didn't see anybody. She's like, I guess I missed her coming back. Like, I wonder what she was doing. And she went upstairs, and her roommate was still sleeping, was in bed.
God.
And she was just like, what the hell? So she kind of woke her up. She's just like, what were you doing downstairs? Like, are you just trying to scare me? Like, what are you talking about? I've been sleeping the whole time. So there was a few other things like that happened, nothing kind of major. And that, you know, so I don't know what time of year it was that she moved in there, but so the first Halloween, she was really excited about, you know, so it's going to be the first time, because where she grew up was kind of out of the city. And so they never had kids coming for Halloween, you know, or anything like that. So she was really excited about it. So she got all this candy and decorated the outside of the house and like was really excited.
Candy for Halloween on Child Avenue.
That's right.
It's like the whole story is built. It's this tiny little. This is a very tidy story.
Yeah, and so she was really excited and whatever, and then was waiting, and she'd see all the kids walking down the street, and nobody was coming to her house, and she was really, you know, she kind of got upset about it because she was. You know, it's going to be the first time and all this stuff. And so I don't know if it was that night or like the next day she saw somebody in the neighborhood and was just like, yeah, what, you know, I don't know. It was really weird because I had all this candy and no kids came to the house. And they're like, yeah, nobody's coming to that house after the woman that lived there. Like they were always really scared of it because it was this like really creepy old house. And like I say, with the windows were all covered with like thick wool blankets. The woman never went outside. She was an agoraphobe.
Oh, the agoraphobic ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then, you know, kind of like things would happen, like, you know, they'd come home and, I mean, they were young and, you know, paying bills was, I mean, they had to save up money, you know, to do and whatever. And so we're very conscious about turning off lights and all that kind of stuff. And they'd come home and sometimes like some lights would be on that they know for sure they didn't leave on.
Wow. Things
would be moved around in the house sometimes, but nothing really serious. Like
Right.
it wasn't like it was constant or whatever.
And nothing threatening.
And nothing threatening at the time. So then my cousin moved here actually to Kelowna to go to school, and her roommate that she had lived with stayed living in the house, so she just rented it to her, and then that roommate's boyfriend also moved in, so it was the two of them. And then things started to ramp up. They would, and again, you know, they're really poor, like starving artist type, whatever, like working in restaurants and young, like 19 years old, maybe 20 by this time. And it started to get a little bit more creepy, like a lot more things would be moved around. They, again, were like super conscious of turning lights off and turning the heat down and all that kind of stuff. Like when they would leave the house and they would come home, the heat would be completely blasted, every light on.
Because a
TV
ghost
turned
can't
on.
get warm.
Yeah, like I think that maybe the ghost didn't like them. Like maybe when my cousin was there, she was fine.
She didn't like, maybe she didn't like
that.
men or something.
Yeah. So then she would, like trying to get them to move out or something.
Oh.
So this went on for, I don't know how long it went on. Like in my mind, it went on for a year, but I don't know if that's really true, how long it went. But finally they were like, we can't live here anymore. Like it's getting too crazy with like all the lights being on all the time. And, you know, so they just started to feel creeped out. And so then they moved out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we never found out what happened to the house or the lady.
Well, I don't know what happened to the lady. Like, nobody knows how she died in the house, but it had to have been somewhat traumatic because of the blood stain that they found on the carpet.
Right.
Or like bodily fluid or whatever, because I think she wasn't found for like a few days after she died. Like, I don't know if maybe she didn't have family really that came and looked. And so there was that. So there had to be some kind of traumatic end to her life. And so I guess she just didn't leave the property.
Well, that's amazing. I love that story. I love a ghost story.
And then now, then years later, then my cousin sold the property, and now that whole area has been completely built up in Calgary. So I think it's like, you know, a few big houses or something like that in that area, or a building or something. Yeah.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe it's still haunted.
Who knows? Oh, I love a ghost story. People could send me their ghost stories. That would be amazing. Do you want to hang out for half a tick?
Sure.
You could send me ghost stories. You can find out how to email me really easily through my website, michaelvsmith.com, or you could tweet them to me, but it'd be a pretty short ghost story if you tweeted it. I keep forgetting to share photos. Oh my God, this is 4 days of photos. I don't have a lot of them, but my friends have been sending them to me, and I really like to help out. Look, here is my friend Ashu, who took a picture with Denise, because Denise and I both taught her, and she put it on social media. She put a photo of her selfie with us on Instagram, which makes her one of my favorite people. You too could be one of my favorite people. I won't tell you how, but it's pretty obvious. Here's my friend Talking Water, who we've seen before. He said he took me out to the garden with him, which is sweet. Isn't that lovely? Oh, people are charming. Oh, you little sweetheart. And where was the other one? I had a third one. Did I? Or did I lose it? Oh, maybe I lost it. Well, there you go. You can send me photos at that address. Don't forget, you can like this page. Thank you for the people who already liked it. You can take selfies with Shauna. There, I like to get out of the frame. You can take a... There you go. People might send me selfies with Shauna. You can subscribe to my channel, and you can also click the notification bell, which will tell you whenever I go live. Thanks, Shauna, for coming to be a special guest on my show. You're a lovely imaginary friend.
Thanks, Michael. That was fun.
You want to blow a big kiss out to the audience with me? Mwah! Bye, bitches!
Bye!